Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and this is the episode. We are finally getting prepped for MLB The Show 19, and this year's franchise mode didn't have a lot of improvements, but that doesn't mean it's still not gonna be fun, and we're gonna have a lot of fun this year. And this year, like always, I'm gonna let you guys decide our team, but this time we're going with the AL team. So I'm gonna give you guys three choices, one from each division, so let's get into it. Starting out in the AL West, it came down to two teams, the Athletics and the Mariners, and we're going with the Mariners from the AL West. They have a couple of pieces that are pretty intriguing, and I don't think they're a bad team at all. Starting with Mitch Haniger, I mean, that guy can hit the ball. Ever since coming over from Arizona, he's improved each season. He hit 282 2 seasons ago, and last year he hit 285, slugging at 493 and an OPS of 859, which is pretty good. I mean, he was the all-star. He was a lone all-star for the Mariners on offense, and I actually like this guy. I like this team. D. Gordon as well. We'd be playing with him. One of my favorite athletes in baseball, D. Gordon. He came over from Miami, and you know, I think we can do some things with this offense. On the pitching side, I mean, a lot of good pieces, and Ichiro's going to retire, but I'm actually looking forward to playing with him in the game. I mean, having one good season out of Ichiro, that'd be pretty cool. Pitching with Kikuchi could be fun as well. That guy is going to be pretty good, and he is a little older. He's kind of like Ichiro coming to the league. Ichiro was a little older coming into the league, and it's all right because I would still have a ton of fun playing with this team, and we would kind of build it the way we want to. It won't be a full-on rebuild, but we get to build this team up and compete in the AL West. And the Mariners actually do have the longest postseason drought in the MLB at 17 seasons, and on top of that, they have never won a pennant, let alone a championship. So this would be an awesome team to build up and, you know, accomplish some new things that this franchise actually hasn't accomplished at all. And if you were born in the 90s, you already know, you know, this was like one of the favorite teams in the 90s. They had A-Rod, Ken Griffey Jr., Randy Johnson. I mean, so many superstars. They were a lot of fun to watch. And oh yeah, we get to reunite with our old pal, two franchises in a row, Domingo Santana. In the AL Central, the Chicago White Sox, and they are a team kind of on the up and coming. They do have, you know, still a couple of holes, but I mean, it's what a treat it would be to build this team up with Eloy Jimenez and also Yo Moncada. I mean, those two guys alone, you have the two cornerstones of the team right there. And they do have a storied history. Remember, Ozzie Guillen led them into a championship in 2005. And before that, I mean, it wasn't like, what is it, 60, 70 years before they won a championship before that. I mean, just a big drought there, but they ended it kind of like the Cubs did as well. Not as big as the Cubs, but still nonetheless. I mean, the team in Chicago that is probably the forgotten team. I mean, they are in the AL and the Cubs are in the NL, but still, I mean, this team is, I think they're equipped to win. I think they can win a little bit. I don't know how much noise they would make. I don't think they're really a true contender right now, but a couple of moves here, a couple of moves there, and a couple of games to bounce their way, and you never know, something could happen there. But they do have the cornerstones on their team to make a franchise with them pretty fun.
I think it's a surprise he's back there at third base tonight.
No, he played it well. That ball down the line in left field. Mancini was playing over to center, diving, reaching, a fair ball, and he made the catch. What a play by Trey Mancini to start the ball game. And the third base umpire signaling that was a fair ball.
So the last team in the AL East was probably the most difficult to decide, and you know, I could have went with the Blue Jays here. The Tampa Bay Rays are actually a team that wouldn't require a full rebuild. They're actually a really good team, and it just takes, you know, a couple of games probably for them to make the playoffs. I mean, they're competing with the Red Sox and the Yankees. That definitely would hurt them. But one of the hardest team probably in the game to rebuild is going to be the Baltimore Orioles, and that's going to be our last team. I was debating whether or not to go with the Blue Jays or the Orioles here because, you know, the Orioles are going to be a team that a lot of people are probably going to use this year because it is the hardest team to rebuild, and it's the obvious choice, I'd say, between them and the Marlins. But just looking at the Orioles, I mean, they got a lot of work to do. Trey Mancini might be, the only bright spot on this entire offensive side. And you know, their pitching, I mean, they don't really have any superstars really. Dylan Bundy and Alex Cobb, you know, they're pretty good, but I just don't know exactly if they're even going to be a part of the future. They did sign a couple of guys. They signed Jonathan Villar in the offseason, coming over from the Brewers. Mark Trumbo, he's getting older, and also Chris Davis coming off the worst year probably of his career. But then they do have some intriguing guys, some young guys. Chance Sisco is going to have a chance to start at the catcher position. And then they have a couple of good prospects, but not great. They don't have the greatest farm system. They have Yasniel Diaz, who's an outfielder. He's only 22. And then DL Hall is another left-handed pitcher. And then they also have Ryan Mountcastle. He's a third baseman coming up as well. But, you know, this is a team that's going to be intriguing. And like I said, a lot of YouTubers, or a lot of even you guys, probably will use the Orioles this year. And it'll be tough. This will be a tough team. And I don't really have anybody to build this team around. So this would probably be the most open rebuild, because we don't know who's going to stick around, who's going to, you know, stick out at all in this dynasty, in this franchise. And you guys get to decide. That's why I'm leaving it up to you guys. And the Orioles, White Sox, and also, you know, the Mariners. Those three teams are going to be rebuilds, but not complete rebuilds. The only complete rebuild would probably be the Orioles. So you guys decide. Let me know down in the comment section. Vote for one of the three, and we'll see who comes out on top. So hit subscribe, hit that like button, put your vote out there, and let me know who should we do in MLB The Show 19.